Warning, if you came to this video to see a poster boy believer preach to you, click away now, because this is not what this video is at all. Not to mention, I am not a poster boy believer. I do what I want, when I want, how I want, bound only by my own morals. As a matter of fact, I have a pretty dark history. Oh, I've lied, stealed, cheated. I have hurt people for personal gain and sport. I've manipulated the weak-minded. That's kind of the wrong word. I don't mean weak-minded as in like they have some sort of learning disability. It's just that they were malleable. I identified this, told them what they needed to hear at the exact right time to make them do my tasks, to achieve goals that I didn't want to achieve myself. And I know someday I'm going to have to answer for all this stuff. I try to be a better person now. And I've done a lot of great things, but that's irrelevant because I'm not trying to justify that stuff. But that stuff does make me forgive people a whole lot easier. Just because I'm like, I get it, dude, but move along, please. So anyway, there's two really main theories of why we are here. One, obviously God. Two would be evolution. Now there's other ones too that I don't know, I just think they're ridiculous. And I don't think the God one's a theory. And I've always had real concrete beliefs about that. But this video is just telling you, not only are those beliefs concrete, these are my coats of lacquer over top of it that make them even stronger. And regardless what you believe, you should never be shooken. Because that can tear down your moral fabric. Anyway, so I don't believe in evolution. For several different reasons. One of the main ones is the fact that we need to come together with another human to make a baby. So either that was the biggest evolution blunder ever, because that's all evolution does, is makes a species or specieses, that's probably the wrong terminology, thrive. Makes it easier for them to survive. So why, if we started off as a single cell organism dividing and, eventually evolving into us, that all of a sudden, now we need to meet up with another mate to have a baby? And if it was truly evolution, I should just be able to, pull off some of my body or something right there, and it would grow into another human being, making us be able to reproduce faster. I believe there was a plan behind it. I believe we're stuck meeting up with another person, so regardless how hard your life is, you will at least connect with one more person, forming love, developing a community, bringing us closer together as human beings. Now, another reason why is if this was all just an accident, we're just some random ball of molten rock floating through space because of the Big Bang that got bombarded with ice comets, which cooled us down, gave us water. Some of those ice comets may or may not have had a single cell organism on that evolved into us. If it was all just an accident, because of the size of the universe, how many stars there are, how many stars have orbiting planets, how many stars have orbiting planets the same distance as the Earth with the same size sun, the fact that we can't take our current technology, look up into space and see evidence of other life, whether that's radio waves, space battles, a big-ass sign that says, "Welcome to the Milky Way, get rocket fuel and ice cream here," is so remotely impossible, the odds are just insanely low that if we are an accident, that there isn't other life up there that's far more advanced than us, because the age of the Earth, compared to the rest of the universe, there would inevitably be some planets that have been around so ridiculously longer than ours, they would have no problems traveling the whole entire galaxy, populating everything. We would see evidence up there. Now, there is a theory to why that we don't see evidence up there if you believe in this whole accidental thing, and that there's some sort of great barrier. Either some sort of barrier we have already crossed that makes it next to impossible for a planet to bring life to the point we're at right now, or there's still a barrier to come. I just invented this brand new widget, this is gonna make everything so much better. Hold my beer for a second while I activate this bad boy. Boom, flips it on, all sentient life gone. Just gone. So that's their justification. See, I believe in the Great Barrier, but I don't think it's like how they describe it. I think God's the Great Barrier. He has to allow it to happen in order for you to be there. Now, another huge problem why the scientific community has troubles with religion is because it says in the Bible, 7 days. Well, 6 days and then the 7th day of rest. Which kind of makes sense because they're like, well, I can drill down into the earth and know that it took a whole lot longer than 7 days for these different things to happen. This is not possible to happen in 7 days. The universe, that couldn't happen in 7 days.
There's a famous saying in physics, which is that the speed of light is not just a good idea, it's the law.
But then they're ignoring the whole space-time theories. Well, I shouldn't even say theories because you can test it. Like, say I were to go into a clock store and flex really hard next to the clock, it'll start running off because of the mass of my arm. Or say there was two people, I had a clock, he had a clock, they were perfectly synced. This is a hypothetical scenario. There's zero chance for either of them to ever malfunction. If I sent him out into space for a while and then he came back, our two clocks would be different. As a matter of fact, satellites constantly need to be adjusted because time is only relevant to the person observing it.
So we know that an object like a black hole, something really massive, stretches space-time around it. Now, if you were to be in the presence of that black hole, in that stretched space-time, your time would slow down, which makes sense because space-time is stretched.
Like if I were to jump into a black hole, once I cross the event horizon, you would see me just frozen there. I'm long gone. I've accelerated to some crazy speed. I've been spaghettified. I believe they call it spaghettification. I'm almost positive that's what it is. Anyways, I'm gone. I don't exist anymore. I'm shoo! But you still see me there, frozen. Because time is only relative to the person observing it. Plus, the speed also affects that. If the same scenario with two people having a clock, if you were to travel at light speed for a year and then we compared clocks, even though he left and I seen him leave and he came back and I seen him come back and our clocks were synced, and what took a year for him, our clocks would be drastically different. So if you're a being that can move at the speed of thought and has the power to create a universe, your 7 days is going to seem different. And why do we limit it to 7 24-hour days? Yes, God created us in his image, but does he mean look in the mirror image or his design image? His 7 days may not be 7 24-hour days. And even if they are 7 24-hour days, because of his power, speed, probably mass, it's going to be drastically different. A second for him could be a million years for us. The point is you can't think 6 24-hour days. Also, the word God, I don't like using it not because of political correctness. Not at all. It's just that when I say God, I imagine Yahweh on the cross or the Last Supper, images I've seen just because you're bombarded with them constantly. And you shouldn't think about them like that because the power's limitless. If you were to think about them as a human being or, what you see in images, to that effect, it becomes ridiculous because you'd imagine this giant man sitting there holding the universe in his hands. It starts putting limitations on them and they shouldn't be there. But anyway, so that's I guess my coats of lacquer on top of my beliefs. And you shouldn't let science discourage your faith either because even the Big Bang. They're well, God couldn't exist because we can see evidence of the Big Bang. But every action has an equal and opposite reaction. And yet they're claiming that they're sure that there was nothing. Just darkness. Then all of a sudden,
in the beginning, there was darkness. And then, bang, giving birth to an endless expanding existence of time, space, and matter.
Event happened that started expanding the universe. But in order for that event to happen, there has to be an action. You can't have a reaction without an action. It's just the way it is. Which plays more into religion. I always imagine God taking his hands and pushing them together and then pulling them out, and then boom, the universe. So I don't understand why they have such a problem with religion when it seems like every single scientific fact they find points more and more and more at God. But I mean, that's just my thoughts on all this. Take it for what it's worth. It's really up to you what you want to decide. Just remember, though, I want you to remember two things. One, for evil to thrive, all it takes is good men to stand by and do nothing. Two, the universe is always expanding. Everything's moving away from each other. So no matter where you are, what you are doing, right now, you are the center of the universe. Don't ever think your life is irrelevant or worthless or it has no meaning. Everything you would do affects other people, changing the world just a little bit. You have purpose. But anyway, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Sorry this video was just like all jumbled, but I don't plan them out. I just kind of like throw information at the camera.